What's up, guys? This is Andy here with Ultimate iDevice Vids, and welcome to my iPhone SE review. Of course, the iPhone SE is Apple's latest 4-inch iPhone. It has the same external form factor as the iPhone 5S and iPhone 5, but it essentially has the internals of the iPhone 6S. So we're just going to be talking all about this device today, the pros and cons of the device, my personal opinion, and basically if this device is worth your money. So let's start off with the design. So as I mentioned earlier, this design is pretty much identical to that of the iPhone 5S and the iPhone 5. It features that blocky design that we all know and love with the, harder corners as opposed to the soft, smooth corners of the iPhone 6 and 6S. So it's much easier to grip and hold in the hand, much less slippery. And although this device does appear just like the 5 and 5S, it has the internals of the iPhone 6S. So this device is powered by the A9 chip along with the M9 coprocessor. So you're going to be experiencing blazing fast speeds on this device. In fact, in many tests, it runs better than the iPhone 6S because it does have a smaller display, which is easier to basically for the device to run. And this is a huge deal for people who love smaller iPhones because the iPhone 5S, which was the last 4-inch device, was powered by the A7 chip, which is a 2013 processor. This is a huge deal for people who like smaller iPhones. And of course, no surprise, size is one of the biggest things when you're talking about the iPhone SE, no pun intended. So as you guys can see, everything is accessible with one hand. Everything is within the thumb's reach. And this is something that I truly do appreciate and I truly do enjoy about this device. Again, you never have to, use two hands or shimmy your phone around to actually access certain areas of the display. And this is extremely apparent coming from the perspective of an iPhone 6S Plus user like myself. I do love the iPhone 6S Plus, and I love all the advantages that it has. However, it is just undeniable that various aspects of the screen are just not accessible comfortably. I either have to shimmy my phone around in my hand like this to access certain areas of the display, or I use reachability by double tapping the Touch ID sensor. But again, just having everything comfortably, accessible in the thumb's reach is, very, very important. And, there are areas of the device that it is a little bit frustrating because, how little space it has. For example, the keyboard is one that comes to mind. I just feel like my thumbs are always almost about to hit each other. And again, I actually didn't have this issue back when I had the iPhone 5S before the plus-size iPhones came out. So it's basically just a perspective thing for me because I'm used to such a larger display. However, again, it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're coming from a larger device or if you've used a larger device in the past. Alright, so next up, let's talk about the camera. So it has a very powerful camera. It has a 12 megapixel sensor, f2.2 aperture, the same exact camera found in the iPhone 6S, and, very powerful for such a small device. And one of the best things about it is it does not protrude from the back of the device. Ever since the iPhone 6, so iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 6S, iPhone 6X Plus, the cameras actually stick out of the back, and that could be a little strange, especially if you're using your device, flat on a table. But another great addition is the addition of live photos, of course, because it is the same camera as the iPhone 6S. Apple basically decided to add live photos, so now when you take a photo, you could play it back by tapping and holding, and it'll give you a little preview of that photo, a little video snippet. So that's pretty cool. Also, when you're swiping between your photos, you get a little preview of each live photo, if it's live, of course. And the video recording is, of course, much improved. Of course, we have 4K. Again, we have that new iPhone 6S camera, so we have the ability for 4K recording. Just make sure you enable it. Make sure you open up settings and scroll down to photos and camera. Then open that up and then go to record video and make sure you have 4K selected because it's not enabled by default. And now let's talk about the front-facing FaceTime camera. Unfortunately, that did not get the iPhone 6S upgrade. The iPhone 6S has 5 megapixels for the front-facing. The SE only has 1.2 megapixels. However, you do have the Retina Flash, which is a new iPhone 6S feature, which basically uses the display to light up your selfies or, front-facing photos. So in dark environments, that could be extremely convenient. And by the way, the front-facing camera could record 720p HD video recording at 2.4 aperture. Next up, the Touch ID sensor. Unfortunately, the iPhone SE still has the first-generation Touch ID sensor, so it's not going to be quite as fast as the second-generation one on the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus. So again, you're not getting the complete iPhone 6S experience with this device. However, again, many of the components are the same, but again, some things like the front-facing camera and the Touch ID sensor are unfortunately that same older experience. So next up, we have the addition of Apple Pay. So if you open up the Wallet application, as you can see, now we have Apple Pay support. So the reason this wasn't available on the iPhone 5S was the iPhone 5S lacked the NFC chip, but the iPhone SE adds the NFC chip, so now you could enjoy Apple Pay on your smaller 4-inch iPhone. So Apple also added Hey Siri, untethered Hey Siri, that is, to the iPhone SE. So if you open up the Siri settings, you could toggle on allow Hey Siri, and basically it's going to ask you to program it so it could recognize your voice best, but basically it works with your device not being plugged in. This was only available on the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus, but again, because all the upgraded internals, the iPhone SE can now work with it. So basically, after you set it up, you could just yell Hey Siri at your device at any time, and it will automatically pop up ready to go. So maybe you forgot to plug your phone in at night and you want to yell across the room and have Siri do something for you. So next up, I wanted to talk about the pricing structure, the capacity, and the colors of the iPhone SE. So the pricing structure goes as follows. The 16GB version goes for $399 off contract. 64GB goes for $499 off contract. So again, those are the only two storage capacity. Unfortunately, there's no 128GB option. There's 4 colors. There is rose gold, gold, space gray, and silver. The rose gold is new to the 4-inch design, so it definitely looks nice if you guys ask me. I know it's hard to compare the prices of high-end smartphones. However, a device like this that contains all the same components as Apple's flagship iPhone 6s, starting at $399, is not a bad deal. The 6s starts at $649 for, again, pretty much the same components. So obviously, you have to deal with this smaller display, but again, it's not a bad deal if you just want all that raw power. So is the iPhone SE worth your money? Well, honestly, it just depends on your current situation. If you currently have an iPhone 5S, an iPhone 5, an iPhone 5C, or an iPhone 4S, and you want to get all the latest hardware and upgrades that the iPhone 6s has to offer, then it's definitely worth your money. However, if you're currently satisfied with your older device and you're not experiencing lag and you're not being bothered by your old device, do not upgrade, because basically it does feel the same. It's, the same device, basically just with all those internal upgrades. So it honestly just depends on if you want to get, again, that newer internal experience while keeping the external experience the same. Personally, I'm a huge fan of plus-sized iPhones, so I'll be sticking with my iPhone 6s Plus. However, if I was in the market for a smaller iPhone, this is, absolutely the best device that you're going to find. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to this channel for many more videos on iOS devices, jailbreaking, and so much more, pretty much everything relating to Apple. Also, make sure to follow the channel on Twitter, like it on Facebook, and also make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll put all those links down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.